First, we'll just do a brief introduction on what assistive technology is. Assistive technology allows children and adults with disabilities to play video games despite their physical limitations. Adaptive equipment provides the opportunity for people with disabilities to participate in situations that may be difficult in the real world, thereby providing social interactions that can help maintain mental health, which is very important right now, obviously, with us being in lockdown and stuff. It's very important to keep your mental health in check, as well as providing an equalisation between disabled and non-disabled players. And that was from the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation. And we move on to the first bit of technology. Okay, so the first thing is button remapping. It's probably the simplest and easiest and cheapest way to make your games a little bit more accessible. It doesn't help with all games, because of course, if you've got a game with a lot of different commands and stuff, then you can only go so far with your button remapping. But yeah, it is very easy and simple to do. Most consoles have it. And yeah, we'll go on to a piece of software now. Not software, sorry, hardware. Okay, so first up we have the Xbox Adaptive Controller. We will have more on that later on. I think Rob Slight uses that. He'll be talking about that in the panel. You can get this for around $74.99 from Microsoft.com. And it's probably easy to show you guys the video first, and we'll discuss it a bit more then.
At Xbox, we have a controller design that our fans love. However, for gamers with limited mobility or gamers who don't use both their hands, this controller design might not work best for them.
Push you out of the way, I'm sorry. Doorknobs are the worst thing ever invented. Putting on shoes, the cell phones that I use, these are the sorts of things that we don't think about until we have to. And I think about them every day.
Yeah! I have cerebral palsy on my entire right side. This side of the controller is fine. This side doesn't happen. As game platforms have gotten more sophisticated, the controllers have gotten more sophisticated, and it started to get really frustrating.
We designed the Xbox Adaptive Controller through feedback from the accessibility community.
The Xbox Adaptive Controller is really easy. You just plug it in, and then you can plug in various other devices. I can make it work for me the way it has to.
With the Xbox Adaptive Controller, a gamer can game with one hand and one foot, or one hand and their shoulder, or even one foot and their chin.
And I can change it from game to game.
Good, ready? Forward, squeeze tall, there it is.
Craig Hospital is a facility for patients who've either had a spinal cord injury or a traumatic brain injury, and it's a place for their rehab.
Yes! We're here for game night, and we're helping new patients getting back into gaming again. Is that the D-pad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our role as occupational therapists is to get people back to doing. When the Xbox Adaptive Controller came along, it acted like an Xbox controller and it just worked.
Uh-oh, over there.
Ooh. On the standard Xbox controller, it's just hard to press the buttons because can't really put pressure through my hands. But then with the adaptive controller, I can use like larger joysticks, larger buttons that are easier to press and reach.
Corey and his brother Zachary are twins. Before Corey's injury, Zachary had gamed with him regularly, and that was a way that they related to each other as siblings.
Who do you love playing Xbox with here at Craig Hospital?
Zach.
The Xbox Adaptive Controller and the co-pilot feature allowed them again to play games together. So there's a huge social component to it.
You got that? Yes, yes. They can play any game that they want. I see the confidence just burst out of them.
So yeah, this was built from the ground up with accessibility in mind, which is pretty cool. They were partnered with several different companies, one of them being Special Effect, who we talked to in a bit. So that's exciting. You have to buy the buttons and stuff for it separately. It's the Logitech Adaptive Gaming Kit, and that's $89.99. I think you can buy the buttons separately on eBay and stuff like that. You just need to shop around. It's easy enough. Next, we're going to look at something compatible with the PlayStation. Yeah, this is the Frag FX Piranha. It's a mouse and chuck controller. Good for those who prefer to play with a mouse and chuck system. I've never played that way myself, but it's always good to try something else, isn't it? yeah, this is available for €99.90. I'm not exactly sure how much that is in pounds, but it's easy enough to find out. And again, we'll just play the video and we'll discuss it again a bit afterwards. We don't have a URL for it, but if you go to splitfish.com, that's SPLIT fish.com, you'll be able to get it off there. It's priced in euros. It's $99.90, so yeah. It's compatible with the PlayStation 3 and 4. I'm not entirely sure about the 5, but I don't know many people who have that yet, to be honest. It's easy to set up. It's plug and play, so you just plug it in a USB slot and you're away. And now we move on to the 3D Rudderfoot mouse. Yeah, which is this weird flying saucer looking thing. Let's have a look. It is €99 from shop.3drudder.com. It's usable with 1 foot as well as 2. So if you have 1 foot that's not as able as the other, you can always just use it with that one. There's accessories available. There's a foot holder, an anti-slip floor mat, and there's also a VR compatible version. It's not much more expensive than the normal version, which is amazing. We watch the video and you guys see what you think. So yeah, I just thought that was something different and quite snazzy. So we put that up there. There's lots of different options for adaptive equipment and stuff you can use to make your games more accessible. There were just a few that I saw on the internet.